Oh, are we recording?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
We're going.
Alright, so we are back with some more BattleTech. We've got Tyler here with his House of what?
House Davion.
House Davion. And we also have Creature Feature here with some clans.
RPG starring Rutger Hauer.
Well, there you go. We're never going to know what happens to Rutger Hauer in RPG, but we're going to find out one day. We'll go through setup, we'll go through the mech loadouts, and we'll be back.
Representing the clans, we have the Assassin 21, the Mad Dog Prime, the Timberwolf Prime, and the Shogun C. All of these are custom variants, and as the game goes on, their weapons will be accounted for. And representing House Davion, we have the Catapult, the Quick Draw, the Rifleman, the Spider, the Dragon, and the Grasshopper. All of these guys, again, have custom parts, but they are based off of the stock units.
For the purposes of time, these guys have both walked on. The clans have moved on in this little battle pattern here. This one moves really far, and that one moves even farther. What was this one called again? The Assassin. I like that name. And then that one was the
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog. So I guess it's going to be these two shooters facing off against the Davion's opposite deployment here, where this one must be his heavy gunner because it's all out there by
Yeah, that one's the Catapult. That one's got a lot of long-range missiles.
Long-range missiles. So, and he doesn't really seem to have any defense for that one guy out there, so I don't know what kind of a fight they're going to get into just on this side of the field. But over here, it looks like the Assassin will probably want to move midfield and maybe catch one or two of these guys off guard. But that's basically turn one and movement, no shooting. So quick draw over here, going around the rock to go after the, what is
Timberwolf?
that? Timberwolf. Oh, that is the Timberwolf? Alright, sweet. And then I noticed the Dragon's moving over there to go help out the Catapult. And this thing, the way the terrain works, this is the light cover, but he's in heavy cover. So heavy forest, light forest. So they have to take all that into account before shooting begins, because this is where I think there might be some shots from the Timberwolf over here, but we'll get to that after shooting, when shooting comes around. Large pulse lasers and long-range missiles opened up with a barrage onto the Catapult over here and lit him up for 26 damage. That's a spicy meatball, and if he shot anymore, he wasn't going to be able to sink his heat. And this is your turn. This is Clan's turn for shooting 2.
Yeah, and then we're going to move on to House Davion.
Turn 2. My favorite mech here, the Timberwolf, fired over here at the Grasshopper, this taller mech right here that looks like the Spider, but it's just a bigger version of the Spider. And nothing was done. It was a pillow fight.
The assassin moved in down the field and climbed into cover amongst the rocks. All of our mech warriors have now moved in with weapons finally getting into range. Let us go now to the brawl.
And then, so the Timberwolf took aim right here at this guy, knocked his ass down. And how many damage you do on that one?
I did, I think, 22.
22 damage. All right, and then over
And then
here,
the assassin poured through the mountain here with a bunch of SRMs and blew the crap out of him while he was down.
okay, that's even funnier. And then over here, this guy took a pock shot at him, right?
No, this guy fired his 2 Ultra AC5s over at the
At the Timberwolf.
over at the Timberwolf.
And yeah, did a headshot.
One of his guns jammed. The second one did a headshot for 5 damage, and then did 5 damage in the left arm.
All right.
Then over here, the vulture hiding out in the trees fired across at the catapult and did some more damage there, almost taking out multiple limbs.
Okay, so it's got 1 damage left on an arm, and it's almost lost a leg there, as you can see. And look at that thing; its upper torso has been lit up. And that was all of turn 3. And the board looks something like this. So we're going into turn 4. So starting here with the Timberwolf and the Spider. Spider rolled up on this guy, did him for like 14 damage.
It was like 23 damage.
Oh, 23 damage, and it was the other way around with 14 onto the Spider back because the Timberwolf missed.
No, I did over 20.
Oh, you did over 20?
We both
Okay.
did over 20.
So these guys had a little row with one another. This guy knocked Chubsy Ubsy down, and now he's fallen and can't get back up.
Mad Dog took a couple of pot shots.
Oh yeah, I
Quick
keep
drop.
forgetting about him out in the forest right there. Took a couple pock shots. Any damage from him, from the Mad Dog?
Yeah, he did 10 damage.
10 damage, that's respectable, I
Yeah,
suppose.
it's on the lower end.
And then they grouped up all over here, and they started to just melt at the assassin.
Yeah, the assassin got knocked down, and his left arm has been blown through, but it's still there.
Well, luckily, he's still got his left arm. So, what are your going into turn 5? What do you got?
Well, I'm just hoping I can stand up and hopefully regroup and maybe take out one of his guys.
Regroup and take out one of his guys. The weight of numbers is definitely going to be bearing down. Unless you can get him around to come around this rock, you might have to move that guy out of the forest in order to fight, in order to start arcing fire onto his mechs over here.
Yeah.
And so, what are you going to do? You're going to group up on one guy?
I'm gonna hopefully kick him while he's down.
Kick him while he's down? I like the sound of that. That sounds very Richard M. Nixon. So we'll go into turn 5 and we'll see what happens. Hopefully we get some combats where we get some dice rolling. We'll see some people get kicked in the head. So I'm afraid we don't have any smoke to pop, but this guy thought he'd be all froggy and move behind the Timberwolf. And then this guy came from out of the forest, blew his leg off, and he's like, I have a fusion engine, and he blew up.
First
Yeah,
blood.
his left torso off, too.
Oh, the left torso of him got blown off,
because
too?
an XL engine spreads not from, like, it spreads from the center torso out to the side torsos, and when you blow one of those off in your sphere mech, the whole thing goes.
The whole thing goes. So this thing is dead, but it still gets to fight. Let's bring up let's see if we can get any retribution. Let's bring the dice pod in.
Okay.
And you do fire all your weapons out. Are you firing them at this guy?
I was actually going to fire at the Mad Cat.
Okay, so you're going at the Timberwolf
Yeah.
instead of the Mad Dog here.
So
All
he
right.
has 14
small pulse lasers.
All right,
14
what does that look like? Let's see them right here.
They do 3 damage.
Hitting on 5s. They were just determining heat and everything. What you got? A bunch of 14 attacks. How many dice you rolling?
I'm going to roll 5 at a time just to speed things up. They're all different colors. So I need to roll 5 to hit. So here's 1 hit, 2 hits.
So that's 2 banks of 2d6.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, 5 banks of 2d6. So those 5 pluses to hit.
3 hit first. So their locations
And then you determine
are...
the locations.
Yes.
Okay. You're hitting him in rear.
Rear. So the location 3 for 3 damage.
Right arm, 3 damage.
Location 7 for 3 damage.
Rear torso center.
And then location 6 for 3 damage.
Now, the rear is the worst place to get hit because if you look at this mech right here, they have a lot of the mechs have very little. I haven't seen one with over 20 on the rear in the torso. Very easy to kill a mech that way.
So here's the next volley of 5. So hit,
Now, should you roll these separately, or?
I specifically use different.
Oh, yeah, doy. I get it. So
Because you have to
he's
roll
color. Yep.
2d6 for each roll.
So yep, I get you.
And since they're different colors.
See, seeing as how I don't pay attention, you know. I mean.
So all 5 of these hits. Here's the location. So I got Snake Eyes for 3 damage.
Okay, so that's center torso, roll a critical.
Oh, rolling a critical. What is this? Is this going to
Nothing.
knock you down?
Nothing.
All right.
The next location is 11 for 3 damage.
Left arm,
And then location 5 for 3 damage.
right leg.
Right leg again.
You can see where the damage is being recorded over there. And you can
And
see
then-
how few hit boxes he has on his torso for the rear.
Then location 5 again for 3 more damage.
Another right leg.
Yeah.
Bam.
Man,
And
my
then
leg.
I have 4 more damage, or 4 more shots.
4 more shots
My
at you.
last volley.
Is this going to topple the mighty Timberwolf, or will it live to blow this guy up?
My guess would be probably not.
Ooh, there's some good hits. Only,
Wait,
oh, yep, only 3 this time, so it might live.
3 hits, and then the locations are location 3 for 3 damage,
Right arm,
then location 6 for 3 damage,
right torso,
and then location 9 for 3 damage.
left leg.
Left leg, and there's no damage on the left leg, so it
No
looks
internal
like
damage.
Did you take over 20? Because I fired 14 and probably
I believe that's
I
over 20.
hit
I'll
at
take a
least
PSR.
5, so that's
so
15.
he's got to take a skills check to see if this mech falls down. We've had a lot of falling down in this game.
I will check that after I fire the Timberwolf, but
Oh, do you still get the fire before you have to test?
Yeah.
All right.
all of the negative effects throughout the turn take place at the end of the turn.
All
So
right.
his guy, that's why he's able to fire. Even though he's dead, he's still not dead technically until the end of the turn.
Yeah.
Okay. So there we go. We'll be back with the pilot skills check. So we just
And
rolled
he falls down. That is
Snake Eyes to see if that thing fell down, but it wasn't before he shot the crap out of that one. And this one, the quick draw's going to have to test to see if
And
he falls down,
falls
right?
2 hexes to the left, so that'll be 4 inches to the left, and he hits his left side.
Oof.
So that'll be, he falls 4 inches this way.
It's actually 2 hex faces, not 2 hexes. So he turns twice and then falls.
Okay. So then he'd be like this way, I guess.
Like that. And has he already shot and done everything?
He hasn't shot yet.
So that it could spell bad news for the Timberwolf now that
And
he's...
the Timberwolf is going to take, let's see, how heavy is it? It's going to take 7 points of damage on its left side, hitting its right torso.
And that is it there. So a little dicey in turn 5 here. Things are starting to heat up. So to wrap up turn 5, we know that these guys were both exploded.
No, the Timberwolf's still alive, it just fell down.
Oh, it just fell down?
Yeah.
And it fell down from this guy, right?
Yep.
Okay, now over here, this thing fired like a barrage, like 9 shots plus what? Or is it 9 total?
It's just 9 total, but they were in like clusters and stuff.
And then 7 of them were these the long range missiles.
They were the short range missiles.
Oh, the short range
They were
missiles.
streaked short range missiles, so that means they all stay together and they all hit.
And he did almost like
I did
102.
104.
104 we determined damage on that one mech alone. And it was just like, how many missiles does this thing have? And then I saw the assassin move with almost the same amount of missiles, shut down that guy's right missile turret, and almost took out its right leg.
Yeah, this next turn the Shogun is going to be out of commission because
And
it's too hot.
but the interesting thing about the catapult here, that's the right word, right?
yeah.
Catapult shot arcing fire based off of this guy's targeting data, and knocked him for how many?
He knocked him for a good deal, but the thing is that he's got engine hits, so he is already overheating from doing 104 damage.
Right.
He was already sitting at 20 heat.
He was already going to shut down. So now,
And then he got 30 heat because he got 2 different engine criticals.
Oh my goodness.
So he's at 30, which is an automatic shutdown.
All right, and then one of these guys was this little guy right here. Did nothing, but who knocked him down? Oh, it was this one, and this guy knocked him down with all his weapons.
Yeah, the dragon fired a Gauss rifle and missed.
Missed.
And then the catapult and the grasshopper sat there firing at the assassin.
And he's on the rocks right now. So we're going to enter turn 6, and we're going to see if we blow up the Shogun and something else. I'm waiting for this Mad Dog to come down and maybe protect his friend here from that.
Oh, Mad Dog doesn't go into places.
From that.
He's the vulture. He picks off the dead.
He picks off the dead. All right.
In a last-ditch effort, House Davion sunk everything it had to destroy the mighty Shogun. But alas, the Shogun is still alive, albeit crippled. The assassin recovered from its tremendous fall and retreated back to the rest of the LENZ, narrowly escaping the fire of the pursuing grasshopper. The Timberwolf and the Mad Dog, seeing that the freeborn fools were distracted, fighting a disabled mech. They struck back hard, destroying the riflemen in a volley of fire, securing victory for the clans.
So here at the end of the game, this is what the Shogun looked like from the clan team. He took up the most damage. He was basically dead. He had 2 engine hits, lots of systems dead, and he had like 10 natural heat from taking the 2 engine things. He spent the last round completely shut down. Over here we have the assassin, which I have named Sassy, and she is still running good. She has not taken any engine criticals. She does have some internal damage, but she's still mostly there. She lost some rear armor. Some of her arms are eaten through. Spent a lot of ammo, but no criticals. Here we have the Timberwolf. Timberwolf lost its right torso armor, lost a good deal of the rest of its face armor, some of its back armor, lost its LRM-20 in a fight, took a hit on its XL engine, but she is still running pretty good. And then over here we have the Mad Dog, the vulture that I have named Regret, and it is a ironic name because I do never regret taking this thing. It's super fresh. It just used a bunch of ammo. It killed lots of things. It killed the Jaeger and the Spider. And this is what the clan team looks like at the end of the game. Now we're going to look at House Davion. So then this is House Davion at the end of the game. So up here we have the Jaeger mech, which held its own for the entire game until the last round when a lucky medium pulse laser shot aced the engine and took it out of commission. Then we have the Spider, which was the first mech to die. And this guy definitely dealt a lot of damage to the Timberwolf. He definitely ran around and did... I mean, he's only worth 600 battle value, so this is definitely pulling his own weight. But he did die due to taking... he had an XL fusion engine, and he lost his left torso, so that totally just crispified the engine. Then we have the Dragon, which, much like the Mad Dog, is completely fresh. No criticals, nothing, just a lot of damage taken by the other team. Then we have the Quick Draw. The Quick Draw kind of skeeted around. He did a lot of supporting fire. He definitely snuck up on me in the second turn. When he came around this rock face, I didn't even see him from my spot on the table, so he was a big surprise when he came over here to corner my Timberwolf. He does not have any criticals either, but he did use a lot of ammo too. Then we have the Catapult. Catapult lost its LRM-20 in its left arm, and it took quite a bit of damage, but it is still standing and it is still good. Then we have the Grasshopper. The Grasshopper lost 2 of its heat sinks and took quite a bit of damage, but it is also still running great.
So we have determined a victory amongst this whole debacle of BattleTech here, and he's got 2 kills, and the damage is even. So I got to give it to the guy who has 2 kills. However, this guy still has more numbers on the board, and 1 fresh mech still.
I still have a fresh mech as well.
Oh yeah,
and
nothing got to the vulture.
He started out with more guys than I did. He had 6 to my 4.
But if there was another turn, it would be 3 to 4.
To be fair, even while the Shogun was super crippled, he could still blow the crap out of something before he dies.
I was surprised at how much that little mech, the assassin, over 100 hit point boxes. Not to mention that the Shogun is only at 25% left on his damage. And I thought you'd really blow him up once it went prone. So, you know, as I learn more and more about these BattleTech robots, it's going to be a little bit easier for me in these battle reports. But what I can't wait is when those models come out next month. What are your takes on those?
I think the models look really nice. I think it's a good kit.
You're definitely getting it.
Yeah,
right? You're both going to get it, right?
Yeah, they're updated models, which is important. Plus, it comes with
Updated maps too.
Updated maps, updated manuals. Maybe you get an index, and maybe you won't have R2-D2 with his sister over here on the back.
Yeah, if you want to laugh, look up a robot called the Bane, or sometimes it's also called the Kraken. It's the worst design I've ever seen.
They do have some pretty bad
It's got these little toddler legs, and it doesn't
What
make
is the,
any
you'll
sense.
just have to put the Kraken right there and show it. Just right here. Boom, Kraken.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, as you know, YouTube has many features you can use to interact with us. You can like the video, dislike the video, comment, or subscribe. But until I see you again, keep fighting with the robots, keep painting, and stay metal, my friends.
Hey Tyler, crash and burn.
crash and burn.